February 1971, the Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok. It's the main event of the night. This is the sacred home of Muay Thai in Thailand. 3,000 people are packed onto wooden bleachers that groan under the weight in the VIP section. Thai royalty sits on red silk cushions with gold trim, set apart from everyone else down in the common seats. It's a different world. Gangsters watch with cold eyes, gamblers make quick hand signals, tourists raise their cameras, and martial artists from all over Asia have traveled here like pilgrims. Sure, they will see something historic tonight. Under the harsh lights in the center of the ring stands Nong. They call her the Iron Rose, beautiful and deadly. 70 professional fights, 70 wins in a round, no losses, no draws, not even one close fight. She is the undefeated champion of women's Muay Thai in Thailand. With the longest winning streak in the history of the sport, she is 1.70 meters tall and weighs 65 kilos. Every part of her body is trained violence. She has destroyed every opponent who dared to face her, men and women. It didn't matter, 32 of them lost by knockout, broken bones, broken spirits, careers ended, fighters sent to the hospital. Dreams turned to dust. Even grown men have left the ring crying. Her streak of 70 wins is already a legend. It all started when she was just 17, a poor girl from a village outside Chiang Mai. Now she is 25, 8 years undefeated in all of Thailand. Nobody can touch her, and honestly, nobody wants to try, but tonight is different. This isn't a title defense, it's an exhibition, a demonstration for the international crowd. The promoters want to send a message to the West that Thai women can fight too, that Muay Thai isn't just for men, that tradition can meet the modern world, and that female warriors deserve respect. Nong stands in the center of the ring. She begins the Y crew, the ritual dance before the fight. It is a sign of respect for her teachers, her gym, and the spirit of Muay Thai. 3,000 people watch in complete silence. This is sacred, and everyone knows it. When she finishes, she looks up at the stands. 3,000 faces look back at her. They are expectant, full of emotion. Some are hungry for violence, some are just curious, others are skeptical. Watching with crossed arms in the front row, several Western journalists sit with notebooks open and cameras ready. They traveled thousands of miles to answer one question: is she the real deal, or is it all just hype? Nong doesn't care. She has proven herself 70 times. Tonight will be number 71. The promoter steps into the ring. He's a big man in an expensive suit, already soaked with sweat from the heat. He adjusts his tie, takes the microphone, and smiles. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, he says, tonight we have the privilege of watching a very special demonstration. He pauses for effect. Nong, our undefeated champion with 70 wins, will pick a volunteer from the audience, anyone, man or woman, any size, any style. A murmur ripples through the crowd. This is unheard of. Champions don't fight random people. It's too risky, too unpredictable. One lucky punch from an amateur could ruin her perfect record. But this wasn't the promoter's idea. It was Nong. She demanded it. She is tired of hearing that her wins don't count because she fights women, tired of hearing that a man could beat her, tired of the disrespect hiding behind praise. Tonight, she wants to end that argument for good. The promoter raises his hand. Nong will pick someone at random. No preparation, no fixed opponent, just skill against chance. He turns to her and nods. Nong moves between the ropes, steps down from the ring, and starts walking through the crowd. The effect is immediate. People move out of her way, some looking down, others leaning back. Nobody wants her attention. Nobody wants to be picked. Nobody wants to face the Iron Rose. She walks slowly, calm. Her eyes scan the rows, reading faces, measuring postures. She's looking for something, though she doesn't know what. She trusts her instincts. Section and nothing interesting. Too many. Drunk locals. Section B, tourists with cameras, nervous, laughing to hide their fear. Section C, mostly women and children. Then she reaches Section D. The energy is different here. Martial artists, serious men, fighters who have traveled to watch, to learn. Nong's eyes move across each face until they stop. A small man, Asian, probably Chinese. He wears simple, dark clothes. He sits quietly in row 12. He isn't drinking or talking. He just watches, calm, present, different from everyone else. There is something about him she can't explain, but it feels right. Nong raises her arm and points directly at him. You come down. The crowd turns toward him, but he doesn't react right away. He doesn't jump up. He stays seated, calm, as if processing what just happened. People around him start whispering, she chose you, get up, you have to go. Some push him gently. A man beside him looks terrified. He leans in and whispers urgently in English, you don't have to do this. The chosen man shakes his head slightly, his voice is low and steady, it's okay. He stands, and the crowd sees him clearly. He is small, maybe 1.70 meters, maybe 63 kilos thin, even fragile compared to the Thai fighters around him under his dark button-up shirt. You can't see impressive muscles, he wears no training gear, no hand wraps, he doesn't have the stiff stance of a ready fighter, he looks like any ordinary man, a tourist who wandered into the wrong event. The crowd's reaction is fast, first confusion, then amusement, then open laughter. That's the volunteer, that small guy. The undefeated 70-win champion picked him. Laughter rolls through the stadium, some shout jokes in Thai, others point, some feel pity. Poor guy, he's about to get destroyed in front of 3,000 people. In the front row, the Western journalists are thrilled. They write notes quickly, cameras flash non-stop. This is perfect content. A female champion smashing a random tourist. The story practically writes itself, but Nong doesn't understand the laughter. She doesn't speak English, she just made a random choice in Muay Thai. Size isn't everything, technique and heart matter. She gestures for the man to come down. He starts walking down the steps. He moves naturally, smoothly, no hurry, no nerves. He just walks with each step. The laughter grows. Some fans yell in Thai, "Run, you can still get out." The man doesn't react. He doesn't even look at them. He keeps walking to the edge of the arena and heads straight for the ring. The promoter watches with growing unease. He leans to Nong and whispers in Thai, "Are you sure? He looks too small, too weak. This might not be a good demonstration." Nong shrugs lightly. "I chose randomly," he volunteered. "We continue." The promoter sighs, takes the mic, and switches to English. "Ladies and gentlemen, our volunteer, sir, please come up." The man climbs the steps calmly. He steps between the ropes and stands under the bright lights. Now everyone can see him clearly. Dark pants, dark button-up shirt, simple, everyday clothes. He looks completely out of place, like he's here for a business meeting, not a fight. The promoter approaches with the mic. "Sir, what is your name?" The man takes the MC. His voice is low and firm. He has a slight accent, but it's clear: Bruce Lee. No one reacts. The name means nothing to the Thai crowd, the tourists, or the reporters. It just sounds like another Chinese name. The promoter continues, "Do you have fighting experience, Mr. Lee?" "Some." "What style do you practice?" "Chinese martial arts, Wing Chun, and my own system." The promoter raises an eyebrow. "Your own system?" "Yes, Jeet Kune Do." The promoter has never heard of it. Nobody in the stadium has. It sounds made up. It sounds like something a tourist would say to seem interesting. The laughter returns. This is even better. Now not only is he small, he also practices a style nobody knows. He doesn't even look competitive. The promoter looks at Nong. She nods calmly. She is ready. She wants to start. She wants to end this fast. Add one more win. Prove once more who owns this ring. The promoter speaks one last time. "This will be a light demonstration. 1 3-minute round. No knockout attempts. We are here to show technique, not to cause harm." Everyone understands. Nong nods. Bruce Lee nods. The crowd settles down slowly. Cameras are ready. This will be entertaining. Watching a 70-win champion dismantle a random volunteer, definitely worth the ticket price. The referee, a veteran Thai with a weathered face, calls them to the center. He explains the rules in Thai, then looks at Bruce and repeats in basic English, "Light contact only demonstration, no kill, no break." He pauses and asks, "Understand?" Nong looks up and meets Bruce Lee's eyes, and then she feels it's something she can't name. Not fear, not tension, not nervousness. It's something else. Stillness, focus, absolute clarity. It's strange. Most people she faced showed something: anxiety, aggression, insecurity, some sign they were already fighting themselves. This man shows nothing. He is just present. They go back to their corners. The bell rings. The demonstration begins. Nong moves forward. First, she takes the classic Muay Thai stance, weight on the back leg, hands high, elbows tight, ready to check kicks and counterpunch. 70 pro fights have shaped every move. Her body knows every rhythm. She feints a jab, just to measure his reaction. Bruce doesn't react. He doesn't back up or block. He just watches. She throws a real jab, now fast, sharp, accurate. Bruce tilts his head just a few centimeters. The punch cuts through air. The crowd murmurs, "Lucky, that must have been luck." Nong throws a combination jab, cross, low kick, a classic Muay Thai sequence, repeated thousands of times. But Bruce is no longer there. He has moved a tiny shift, just enough, with no visible Effort the kick hits empty space. Bruce Lee always said fighting is not about strength, it's about economy of movement, not moving more than needed, not wasting energy, be direct, be simple, be like water. Nong adjusts. This man moves differently. It's not Muay Thai footwork, not Western boxing, it's something smoother, adaptable, unpredictable. She increases pressure and steps in with a powerful knee to the body. Bruce drops his hand and meets her knee in the air. He doesn't block it or strike it, he just guides it. A small change of direction, enough to take the power out. Nong feels it. That wasn't a block, that was control, something different, something she has never experienced. She attacks again. An elbow strike, one of Muay Thai's most devastating weapons, the kind that opens, cuts and ends fights. Bruce avoids it. He steps inside her range, too close for her to generate force. His hand touches her shoulder, light, soft, then he pulls back. The message is clear. He could have hit, he could have countered. He chose not to. The crowd starts to go quiet. This isn't what they expected. The small man isn't being destroyed. He hasn't even been touched. Nong understands now this man can really fight. It wasn't luck, it's skill, deep skill. She decides to test him. She throws her most deadly technique, the one that gave her 20 of her 70 wins, a jumping knee, explosive, powerful. It covers the distance in an instant. Bruce sees it coming. He doesn't back up. He slides just off the line. His hand touches the knee in midair, guides it, redirects it. Nong lands slightly off balance, just a moment, but enough in that moment. Bruce could have swept her, struck her, or ended the fight. He does nothing, just readjusts, waits. Now Nong understands this man isn't trying to beat her. He is showing her something, showing her he can touch her whenever he wants. He can control her. He could hurt her, but he chooses not to. This isn't arrogance, it's mastery. This is the principle Bruce Lee always repeated. True skill isn't about destroying, it's about control. But Nong's pride burns. Her 70 win streak wasn't built by backing down, it was built with will, heart, and the decision to never quit. She attacks with everything, punches, kicks, knees, elbows, the combinations that made her champion, the techniques that built her legend. But Bruce moves through them like water, flowing, avoiding, redirecting. He never blocks with force, never clashes. He just guides the attacks off his center. He uses Nong's energy against her, making her miss by millimeters. Now 3,000 people watch in complete silence. They don't understand what they are seeing. They came to watch their champion destroy a volunteer. Instead, they are seeing something else, a small man making the champion look ordinary. 90 seconds pass, then Bruce decides to end it. Nong throws another jumping knee. She puts all her power and pride into it, but Bruce doesn't evade. He steps inside the attack. His left hand controls the knee. His right hand rises and stops 1 centimeter from her throat. Perfectly aligned, perfectly controlled. A strike that would have ended the fight. The referee sees it immediately. He steps between them. It's over. The demonstration is finished. Bruce lowers his hand, steps back, and bows respectfully. Nong stays in place. She breathes hard, sweat on her forehead, confusion in her eyes. 90 seconds. And she didn't land a single clean shot. She didn't touch him, hit him, control him, and at the end, his hand was at her throat. He could have knocked her out, could have ended her 70 win streak, but he chose something else. Respect, control, compassion. The arena is silent, deep silence. Nobody knows how to react. Their champion didn't lose, but she didn't win either. She was clearly outclassed. Someone showed them there is a higher level. The promoter steps into the ring and takes the embassy. He looks nervous. This wasn't the plan. Finally, he speaks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen a very interesting demonstration. 2 different styles, 2 different approaches. We thank both fighters. The applause is weak, confused. The crowd is still trying to understand what they saw. Nong walks to Bruce. She bows deeply. A bow of true respect. Bruce bows back. She says something in Thai. The promoter listens and translates. She asks, "Who are you? What style is that? Where did you learn it?" Bruce answers in English. The promoter translates, "I practice martial arts. I study many styles. I try to understand what works and throw away what doesn't." He doesn't mention titles, doesn't talk about wins. He just talks about understanding. Nong listens carefully. Then she asks another question. She says he could have beaten her. Why didn't he? Bruce answers calmly, "Because this was a demonstration, not a fight. I have no desire to hurt her or damage her reputation. She is clearly a great champion." The promoter translates. Nong's expression changes. The tension leaves her face. Her eyes no longer show challenge, but respect. She extends her hand, a Western gesture. Bruce takes it. They shake hands in silence, respect between warriors for a moment. The whole stadium seems to hold its breath. Then the crowd finally reacts. Applause, but not for a victory or a loss. It's applause for something rare in a ring. Respect, sportsmanship, skill without ego. Bruce steps down and returns to his seat. Murmur start. Around him, who was that? Where did he come from? What style was that? Nobody has answers. The man next to him, the same one who tried to stop him, leans in and whispers urgently, "That was amazing, but you just embarrassed the national champion of Thailand in her own country. Maybe we should leave." Bruce shakes his head gently. "I didn't embarrass her, I showed her respect. There's a difference. The crowd might not see it that way." Bruce looks toward the ring and answers calmly, "Then the crowd needs to learn how to see." They stay until the end. Nobody bothers them, nobody approaches, but many watch, many remember. As the crowd starts to disperse, a small group of young Thai fighters approaches Bruce. Students from different gyms. They bow respectfully. One speaks in basic English. "Master, we saw what you did. It was incredible. Can you teach us that style?" Bruce is quiet for a few seconds, then he answers, "I'll only be in Bangkok for 3 days. I came for a movie meeting, but tomorrow, if you want, I can show you some principles." He pauses. Not a full system, just ideas, concepts. The young fighters accept eagerly. They exchange addresses. The next morning, 20 fighters arrive at a small gym on the outskirts of the city. Bruce spends 4 hours with them. He doesn't teach complicated techniques, he teaches principles. He shows them Wing Chun exercises, talks about Jeet Kune Do, explains that style isn't what matters is effectiveness, adaptation, the ability to change, flow, and be like water. Among those 20 young fighters is one who would later become one of the most respected trainers in Thailand for decades. He will tell the story the day Bruce Lee came to Bangkok, the day he made Nong, the undefeated 70-win champion, look human. The day he showed that martial arts are above styles, borders, and pride. Nong keeps fighting. She wins 15 more fights. She retires with 85 consecutive wins, still undefeated, still champion. But she never forgets that night in February 1971. She never forgets the small man who could have ended her streak and didn't, who could have humiliated her, but chose respect. Years later, when she herself becomes a trainer, she tells this story to her student. She says, "He was smaller than me, lighter than me, he had less Muay Thai experience than me." She pauses, "But he understood fighting on a level I didn't understand at that time." Her students listen in silence. Then she adds, "He taught me something important. Technique without philosophy is empty. Strength without wisdom is worthless." She concludes, "Winning isn't about destroying your opponent, it's about understanding fighting so deeply that you don't need to destroy anyone." The Western journalists who were there that night write their stories, but they don't understand what happened. They talk about a clash of cultures, East versus West, a volunteer vs a champion. They miss the point completely. They miss the lesson. But the 20 Thai fighters who trained with Bruce the next day did understand. They told the story differently. The day Bruce Lee came to Bangkok, he accepted a fight he didn't seek. He won a fight he didn't finish, and he taught that true mastery isn't about victory. It's about understanding. February 1971, Lumpini Stadium, 3,000 witnesses, an undefeated champion with 70 wins and a volunteer who changed everything. It wasn't a victory, it was a lesson. The moment martial arts stopped being just fighting and became philosophy. Over the years, the story started to change. Some said Bruce knocked her out, others said he fought 10 men, others invented that the Thai army tried to arrest him. None of that happened. The truth was much simpler and much deeper. A champion met someone better, and instead of destroying her, he taught her. Instead of humiliating her, he lifted her. Instead of conquering, he showed respect. That is the real story, not the one in the newspapers, not the one that became legend, the real one. Bruce Lee in Bangkok, 70 wins, 1 demonstration, infinite lessons. The man sitting next to Bruce that night, who whispered warnings, was Dan Inosanto, his student and close friend. He had traveled with him to Bangkok for movie meetings. He watched everything with a mix of pride and worry when they left the stadium and walked through the humid streets. Dan finally spoke. "You know they'll talk about this for years, right?" Bruce shrugged. "Let them talk. You could have said no, you could have stayed in your seat." Bruce answered calmly, "She chose me at random. I honored that choice. You made a 70-win champion look like a beginner." Bruce shook his head. "I showed her a different approach." Dan smiled. He knew arguing with Bruce about philosophy was pointless. They walked in silence for a while. Then Dan asked the question he had been holding. "What if she had been better? What if she had actually hit you?" Bruce stopped and looked at his friend. "Then I would have learned something." Dan frowned. "That's it." Bruce answered, That's why we accept challenges, not to prove we are better, but to discover what we still don't know. Dan thought for a moment, then asked, "So what did you learn tonight?" Bruce answered without hesitation, that Muay Thai is powerful, very effective. He paused, that she is a true champion, that 70 wins means something real. Then he added, and that respect is always more important than domination. They kept walking. The lights of Bangkok shone on the wet asphalt that night. Back at the hotel, Bruce couldn't sleep. He sat by the window, looking at the neon lights of Bangkok. Dan woke up and saw him there. "Can't sleep?" Bruce said, "I'm thinking about the demonstration, about what I didn't do." Dan sat beside him. "What do you mean?" Bruce looked out at the city. "I could have really hit her, shown everyone what a real strike is. But you didn't." Bruce shook his head gently, "Because that would have been for my ego, not for martial arts." Dan asked, "So you held back for her?" Bruce answered, "I held back for everyone, for the art, for what it should represent." Dan was quiet, then said, "They'll never know." Bruce smiled slightly. "That's okay." He looked back at the city lights. "The right people will understand." "And the rest?" Bruce answered calmly, "The rest don't matter."